Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
Last night in the desert, the long balls were flying out of Chase Field from Paul Goldschmidt and Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton's second off Heath Bell turned out to be the game winner, and the Marlins took game one 3-2. Tonight, both starting pitchers make their first starts of this season. It's game two from Chase Field, next on Fox Sports Arizona. Home in Arizona, and the lead atop the National League West slimming down a bit in an ultra-competitive division. The Diamondbacks fighting right now to stay on top and welcoming the Miami Marlins into Chase Field for the second of this three-game series here on Fox Sports Arizona. Randall Delgado is back in town. Good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. Your first-place Diamondbacks reeling just a bit here. They've lost 4 in a row in 8 of their last 11. And lately, Bob, in no small part to a guy who is clearly a special player, Giancarlo Stanton. Keep this in mind. He's only 23 years old. He's played exactly 400 games. He's hit exactly 100 home runs.
Boy, are the Marlins glad to have him back. That's the understatement of the year. Through his first 12 games of the season, he had 0 homers, 0 RBIs. In 15 games since coming off the DL, 7 homers, 19 driven in. This guy is the biggest cog in the middle of that Marlins lineup. The Diamondbacks are going to have to keep a real close eye on him in the game tonight. You can see how much the team has improved with the return of Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, they are almost a full run better per game. Giancarlo out after 36 games with a hamstring injury. So the Diamondbacks reeling in the rotation in terms of suspensions with Ian Kennedy, injuries of their own with Brandon McCarthy, and tonight they turn to Randall Delgado, his first start this year.
Well, we talk a lot about depth in that rotation, depth in the bullpen. That depth is going to be tested over the next few weeks here with Ian Kennedy serving that suspension. Randall Delgado has pitched well against the Marlins in his career. That's no small factor in the reason he's taking the ball tonight.
As you can see, he faced the Marlins a few times, coming from the Atlanta Braves, both teams in the NL East, and tonight he makes his first start as an Arizona Diamondback. When we come back here from Chase Field, the middle game of this three-game set, Jody Jackson rejoins us. She'll talk about that bullpen. Suddenly it's leaking a bit. You're watching Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. First pitch coming up. Money is as easy as sending an email with Chase Quick Pay.
And welcome back to Chase Field. These Arizona Diamondbacks trying to put an end to a 4-game losing skid here tonight against the Miami Marlins. Game 2 of a 3-game series, part of a 6-game homestand. Hi, everybody. Jody Jackson with you as we get you set for first pitch here. And one of the issues now that has come up in the month of June, problems with the bullpen. Now, it's a strength of this team overall, but injuries have certainly played a part. And the other thing that you look at, close games and bullpen issues, well, they're certainly magnified, no question about it. The trouble started in St. Louis on the road trip. At the end of that trip, it's continued here. In fact, the last 2 losses suffered by the Arizona Diamondbacks, those losses have been taken by David Hernandez in San Diego on Sunday, and then Heath Bell here last night. Not a bad pitch, but one that Giancarlo Stanton could get to. And I talked to David Hernandez today. He said it's simply about making quality pitches late in games. And it certainly has not been just 1 or 2 guys. The issues have been throughout the bullpen. So they'll look to turn that around, no question about it. One guy that seems to be turning it around offensively is Paul Goldschmidt. He drove in the 2 runs last night, had his 16th home run of the year. We will look and see if Giancarlo Stanton and Paul Goldschmidt will continue slugging tonight here at Chase Field as the Diamondbacks look to end the skid.
Proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. By BMO Harris Bank, the very definition of at your service. And by Gila River, another proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Chase Field, Diamondbacks have lost 4 straight and 8 of their last 11, trying to even up this 3-game series in a game apiece, set to open up against the Miami Marlins. Middle game of a 3-game set against Mike Redmond's ball club. They won last night with only 3 hits and without a single runner in scoring position. Although, Bob, as you said, Giancarlo Stanton is in scoring position when he's in the batter's box, and we found that out last night.
Unfortunately so. This is how Mike Redmond's going to line him up tonight. Juan Pierre, the veteran, in the leadoff spot. Polanco hitting second. There's that guy standing in the 3-hole. It'll be Morrison, Ozuna, Dietrich in the middle. Echeverria, Brantley, and Evaldi, the pitcher, in the 9 spot.
Randall Delgado, his Diamondbacks debut as a starter. He has seen these Marlins before, coming over from the Atlanta Braves in the NL East. In 2 years with Atlanta, Delgado has made 3 starts against the Marlins and pitched well. 2-0, a 1.10 ERA. Last year with Atlanta, a 4.9 record. The ERA about 4.5. He made 17 starts. Juan Pierre leads us off On a Tuesday night at Chase Field, it's 0-1. Delgado made one previous appearance for the Diamondbacks this year. That was a 2-inning relief stint on June 3rd at Busch Stadium. And he got roughed up a bit there, Bob. 2 runs, 4 hits, including a homer. He did have 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, and in that outing, we basically just saw a fastball changeup from Delgado. He also throws an occasional curveball. At least he did more with Atlanta, but in a 2-inning stint, he just went with his 2 best pitches, the fastball, the straight change.
Juan Pierre. And one of the Marlins' 3 hits last night. The other 2 were Stanton home runs. On the ground to second, Willie Bloomquist is there. 1 out for Randall Delgado. Defensively, left to right, Bob, it's a Kubel, Pollock, Parra outfield.
Now, this is the outfield that Kirk Gibson employs from time to time, getting A.J. Pollock and his great range out there in center field, sliding Gerardo Parra over to right, where I feel he's the best right fielder in the National League right now, defensively as well as offensively.
Jason Kubel, saw him make some fine defensive plays on that last road trip. A.J. Pollock, we know about all the ground he covers in center, and there is Gerardo Parra with 1 Gold Glove already on the mantle. Placido Polanco steps in, and big gap for Polanco here in left center. A.J. Pollock shaded over toward right.
You see that 0 in the home run column for Polanco. The same thing applies for everybody who's played third base for the Marlins this year. They're yet to record a home run from that third base position. They're only slugging .303 from the third base position. Just to give you an idea of how poor that is, the Chicago Cubs pitching staff has 4 homers and is slugging .315.
Ouch, babe.
Ouch.
Willie Bloomquist one more time. Pair of ground outs to second base start us off. And here comes trouble. Giancarlo Stanton, a pair of home runs last night. He drove in all 3 Miami runs in their 3-2 win, and in doing so became just the 9th player in baseball history to hit his 100th career home run on or before his 400th game. Last night, his 100th homer in his 400th game, and he's only 23 years old.
Hey, he truly is an old school slugger. He swings hard. He tries to lift the ball in the air to the outfield, not necessarily to his pull field, but he will strike out a bunch too. 28 in 103 at bats this year.
And the big one off Heath Bell that turned out to be the difference maker last night. Two and 1. Let's just take a look now. It's Giancarlo Stanton likes the ballparks in this division.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he likes the warm weather out west here. Not quite as humid.
He rings up Stanton. Good start for Randall Delgado. A 1-2-3 first. Bottom 1 on the way. By a half game, holding a 1-game lead over the Padres, game and a half over the Giants. Kurt Gibson already caught one break today. Toronto's Esmail Rogers, 5 1/3 no-hit innings against Colorado. Blue Jays have beaten the Rockies 8-3 at the Rogers Center, so that'll help. And this is the lineup that Gibby will send out tonight against Nate Eovaldi.
Parra, Bloomquist, and a rejuvenated Paul Goldschmidt at the top of the order. Montero, who's been swinging a hot bat lately in that 4 spot, followed by Prado, Kubel, Pollock, Gregorius, and Randall Delgado, tonight's starting pitcher for the D-backs.
On the mound for the Marlins, Nate Eovaldi. From Nolan Ryan country, Alvin, Texas, 11th round pick by the Dodgers in 08. Marlins got him at the deadline last year in the Hanley Ramirez deal. In his combined numbers last season, 4-13, a 4.30 ERA. But this is a guy that throws hard. 4-seam fastball, averages a tick under 95 on average. There's 98 to open it up.
Just getting loose. Everybody from Texas throws hard. Eovaldi in 5 career appearances against the D-backs, 2 of those starts, a 2-0 record with an ERA of 4.05. Likes his fastball, throws a lot of sliders. He also has a curve and a changeup that he uses sparingly. When you throw in the upper 90s, you don't really need a lot of secondary pitches.
Nate Eovaldi was expected to be the Marlins' number 2 starter coming out of spring training. Had a very good spring, but suddenly at the end there developed right shoulder inflammation. He's been sidelined for the first 2.5 months of the season. This is his first start of the year. He was really good this spring, 3-0 and just under 25 innings, 16 strikeouts.
Now this is the slider from Eovaldi, and Gerardo fouls it actually off his back foot that time. Front foot well protected. Of course, you foul it off the one that has no protection.
1-2 to Gerardo Parra. Parra comes into today 10th in the league in hitting at .313. And he strikes out, 1 away in the first.
Back-to-back sliders to end the sequence after a series of mid-90s fastballs. When you throw your slider that hard out of the same arm slot as your fastball, you're going to fool a lot of hitters.
I love you, Willie. Just don't tell my husband. He's right there. Look, he has no idea.
He'll never know.
No clue. How'd she sneak that sign in without him knowing? That's the question. Willie Bloomquist, 367. He was 0 for 5 last night. 98. Great location, 0-1. Very excited about this guy. That's why they gave up Hanley Ramirez to bring him in from LA. Eovaldi was last on the mound last Thursday night in a rehab start for AA Jacksonville. He allowed 2 runs on 5 hits in 6. Got the win against the Montgomery Biscuits. One of the great minor league names. The sun setting behind Chase Field. Right back at you. 2 down. Defensively, the Marlins look as such. Essentially the same lineup we saw last night, though Derek Dietrich is in at second base and Rob Brantley behind the plate.
Echeverria at shortstop, must-see TV. This guy can really go get him. 2 of the most rangy shortstops in the game in this ball game here tonight with Echeverria and Didi Gregorius.
Paul Goldschmidt on base 3 times last night, a walk, a homer, an RBI single, adding to his league-leading RBI total. Now it's 61. Looks at a strike, 0-1. The home run is 16th. He's top 5 in the league in OPS at 942. You're going to have to get a bigger pen. Thank you, Goldie. He has quickly become a fan favorite. Bob, last night great to see Goldie go the other way with the ball he hit for the home run. Took advantage of a mistake on a pitch that got too far inside, knocked it back up the middle for the base hit. This was the home run.
Caught just enough of the plate so he could get the barrel on it. Nice catch by a fan out there behind the right field fence. Also drew a walk in his first plate appearance of the game. That was good to see.
And as we've learned recently, they're going to consistently pitch Paul in the same spot, and he's got to make the adjustment to the adjustment. That's what I'm always told baseball is, the adjustment to the adjustment. Good numbers against Miami so far this year.
Well, pitchers do make mistakes. I mean, obviously the game plan is to stay away both with fastballs and breaking pitches, but occasionally that breaking ball hangs up over the middle of the plate. The fastball strays and catches too much of that outside corner like it did last night, and you just have to be ready to take advantage. There's a hanger that stayed on the inside part right there. So much late movement, however, it's tough to square up. We've seen at least 4 or 5 foul balls just like this already in the game tonight.
Get a look inside the glove of Nate Eovaldi. Eovaldi just turned 23 this spring. He admitted to being a little disappointed when the Dodgers traded him last year, liked the organization, but then said he realized in the long term this is probably a good spot for him. And he's quickly learning that Paul Goldschmidt will wear you out.
Yes, he will. And Eovaldi being a hard thrower, I mean, it appears he's got pretty good command here in the early going of this ball game, but he's made a few mistakes on the inside part of the plate to Goldie, something we have seen very few of recently.
Goldie drives it to right field. And Giancarlo Stanton is at the wall. He went the other way, that time just not quite far enough. Goldie comes up just shy of number 17. We're through 1 at Chase Field. No score.
Class being honored here earlier today on the field. Jody Jackson back with you. And the first pitch thrown out by Cardinals safety Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann, just want to welcome you and tell me what that experience was like being down there on the field.
It was great, to get a chance to throw the ball, from 60 feet, in a big league mound, from the big league fans. It definitely was an experience.
I saw Josh Colementer giving you a couple of tips. What did he tell you?
He just told me to relax and just let it rip. He said I had a strong arm and not to get caught up in anything else, but just go out there and just let it rip.
Well, you did a nice job. It looked like a strike to me, but just on your transition now, obviously, you know, your career at LSU and everything that you've been through, what is it like to have this journey take you now to the NFL as an Arizona Cardinal?
Oh, it's a dream come true. You know, definitely a blessing, you know, with all that I've been through, you know, this past year, you know, and just being able to overcome that, you know, and just being able to, you know, have the Arizona Cardinals believe in me, you know, have faith in me to take a shot on me. Definitely the dream come true, and it's very humbling.
Does it make you appreciate, you mentioned humbling, also the ability to be able to go out and wear a jersey and play the game?
Oh, definitely. You know, I'm not really caught up into the game right now. You know, I think playing football is easy for me. You know, I think right now it's just about reforming relationships and, you know, just being the best person I can be.
Tyron, great job. Thanks a lot, and good luck this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Guys.
Logan Morrison getting up the line like the Honey Badger on a punt return. Didi Gregorius, the throw pulls Goldie off the bag.
A little broken bat floater to that left side. Didi really had to hurry, moving to his right and in a little bit. Goldie just comes off that bag enough. Marty Foster, first base umpire, right on top of the play. They're going to rule that an infield hit for Logan Morrison.
So Lomo starts off with a hit after going 0 for 4 last night with a couple of strikeouts against Patrick Corbin. And now stepping in is Marcell Ozuna, the center fielder. Base hit. Barreled that one up and knocked it right into left. So 2 on and no outs against Randall Delgado to start the Miami second.
A term I've used many times this year, hungry to hit. Ozuna's one of those guys. He leaves that on deck circle. He's ready to swing at anything close to that strike zone. Unfortunately, Delgado gave him a good pitch to hit that time. He ripped it into left field.
Second baseman Derek Dietrich. And the night off last night against the left-hander Patrick Corbin. Dietrich 3 for his last 20. May was his first month in the big leagues. In 20 games, all starts, he hit .230. So far in June, batting an even .200. And Bob, oftentimes with Randall Delgado, when he's got the fastball changeup, location is key. And look where this pitch is to Ozuna.
Yeah, right in the middle of the plate. That tailing action brought it right back to the barrel of the bat.
0-2 to Dietrich.
That's one thing you learn with more experience, whether it's at the minor league level or especially at the major league level. Location is the most important thing. If you're not an overpowering guy that throws in the upper 90s or triple digits, being able to hit your spots is more important than a couple of extra miles per hour in velocity.
And Randall Delgado needs to show that he can throw strikes. Last year, 18 big league appearances for the Braves. He averaged just over 4 walks per 9. He's shown good velocity with a fastball before. He can get up to 97, usually though 91, 93. But he can't leave that fastball up where it tends to flatten out on him, as we saw. Then he turns into a fly ball pitcher, and that will not work here. Gets Dietrich. Second strikeout for Delgado. 1 out in the second. This is some of the off-speed stuff, Bob, that they like.
Yeah, that straight changeup, that was his calling card as a member of the Atlanta Braves, and the pitch that got him to the major leagues as quickly as he did. You mentioned the fastball is very good, but that straight changeup is a swing and a miss pitch.
Danny Echeverria, the shortstop.
How about this for the Marlins? This is the first time in the series. Now, granted, only 9 innings last night and 2 innings so far tonight. This is the first runner they've had in scoring position.
Lifts it to right. Gerardo Parra started in, now backs up. Lomo tags, heads for third. Echeverria flies out, first and third, 2 down for Miami, and Rob Brantley, the catcher, comes up.
Catcher number 19.
I like to see that time from Parra. That's good judgment. He was flat-footed out there in right field. He really didn't have a chance to throw out Logan Morrison at third base. Morrison runs pretty well, but Parra loves the challenge. He just decides to guide it back into the infield, get it to the cutoff man, realize that you're not going to have a play at third base, so just get the ball back into the infield quickly.
Morrison singled, Ozuna singled. It was first and second, no outs for Miami. Now Delgado 1 out away from getting out of this mess. Here's the catcher, Rob Brantley. Rob Brantley, like most of the Marlins, got off to a slow start offensively. He's at .245 on the year, hit .229 over the first 2 months of the season without a home run. Still not much power there, but he's had a good June. He's at .310 this month.
And the Marlins and Rob Brantley spending a lot of time trying to hone his skills behind the plate. He's got some rough edges on his game behind the plate. 4 pass balls already this year, 4 errors on the season. He has a strong throwing arm, but they're trying to soften up his hands a little bit, improve his pitch blocking behind home plate.
Rob Brantley is not a power hitter. In fact, it's not unfair to call him a singles hitter right now. In fact, over his last 24 games, Brantley has had exactly 1 hit that wasn't a single. And his slugging percentage since the end of April is .264. That's actually below his on-base percentage over the same span. Just missed there. Does not get the call from Mike McClinsky.
Ugh. It's been a very fluid strike zone already in this game. There have been some good pitches called balls, some bad pitches called strikes.
Might have been a shade below the knee. Paul Goldschmidt and Randall Delgado, first and second, nobody out. He gets out of it. Bottom 2 on the way. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Martin Prado, the former Brave, has seen plenty of these Marlins, and he'll get another look coming up. Chase Field tonight. They're wandering around, checking out Chase, maybe for the first time since they've been in the Valley. They're all up in a booth. They got a nice spot right down the row from us here.
They must know somebody.
I bet they do. Here's Jody in the back. She probably got him in there. She knows a lot of people. Every time a Diamondbacks player hits a home run this season, Fulton Homes will donate $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association.
Yeah, this is funny. You see Miggy struggling to get his batting glove on that left hand. There's a reason for that. Even at this time of the season, the catcher's left hand gets beaten up. Your index finger, your middle finger are always going to be swollen a little bit. Occasionally it gets to the point where you can't wear your wedding ring because you can't get it off. Catcher's hands take a beating over the course of the season, especially that glove hand.
You ever had that conversation with Joan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Honey, I just can't get my ring on. There's a medical term for it, just from the punishment of the ball continually banging off of that left index finger. The capillaries, the small blood vessels in that finger just get crushed. As catchers, we used to call it the finger of death because it would just be ice cold all year round, ice cold.
It changes the temperature of the finger.
Absolutely. You just don't get the same kind of blood flow that a normal person or a normal infielder or pitcher would. It's a common condition among catchers. Ask any of them. He's just having trouble getting that index finger into that batting glove. Same gloves he's worn all season long, going back to spring training, but the hand's starting to take a beating this time of year.
I'm told if I look up finger of death, will I find it in the medical dictionary?
Well, like I said, there is a specific medical term for it, but
I think didn't finger of death open for the Ramones in the last tour?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Another 0-2 on the way from Nate Eovaldi. Boy, this guy can hump it up. 99 for his second strikeout. Here it is, hit it. And he went through all of that with a glove, and look how it ended up.
And now it's going to take him another 5 minutes to get it off.
He's got to get the other one back on. Martin Prado. Boy, between this Eovaldi kid and their sensation Fernandez, who pitches here tomorrow afternoon, and he's oftentimes compared, I know Felix Hernandez is not exactly old, but he's often compared to a young King Felix. Derek Dietrich charges they retire Prado with Fernandez and Eovaldi. Got to feel pretty good about the top of that rotation. Two young guys and both hard throwers.
Saw Fernandez pitch one time on TV. He throws what they call a deflector shield slider. It looks like it actually hits something and changes direction on the way to the plate.
No TV on that game tomorrow, but if you can sneak out of work, get out to Chase Field, buy a ticket, and watch that kid. He is something else. Jason Kubel. That's one of the great things, Bob, about baseball and being a baseball fan is when some young pitcher comes up and you get all excited about him and fans start hearing about him, and then you see him, and we'll talk to Braden Shipley, in fact, who the Diamondbacks just drafted from Nevada, coming up. People get excited about young star pitchers and the potential and the ceiling and all of that.
Start to project down the road 5 years, 10 years. If this guy stays healthy, what might he be able to do in his career? Sometimes they live up to the hype. Sometimes they fade away quickly.
I remember when I was a kid, and my grandfather would always, he watched Mark Fidrich. Remember Fidrich's rookie year, and he's 76. He got all excited about the bird, and there's this kid from Massachusetts, and he's goofy, and he's got this crazy hair, and he talks to the ball and all this stuff. And boy, the excitement about that, and Fernando Valenzuela, and on and on and on. Dietrich one more time. So far so good for Nate Eovaldi. 6 up, 6 down. Speaking about young pitchers, we'll talk to Braden Shipley, the D-backs. First round pick coming up. Exciting young pitchers and the guys fans can follow. And here's one right here. Braden Shipley, the Diamondbacks' first-round pick, the 15th overall, the pitcher from Nevada. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Now you're all signed up. It's all done, official, everything?
Everything's official. I'm officially a D-back.
How's it feel?
Feels amazing. I'm really excited and ready to start playing some baseball myself.
So what's the next step?
Tomorrow I'm going to fly out to Hillsboro and play for that up in that new stadium. So I'm ready for that. And I think they're going to take it slow with me, kind of build me up, get me in shape again, and then and get me back out on the mound.
Nate Eovaldi leads it off for the Marlins against Randall Delgado. So, Braden, give me the Braden Shipley scouting report. What should I look for when I watch you pitch? Because I see what people have written in scouts and on, but I kind of want to hear it from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a mid-90s guy, locate well, curveball, changeup. Changeup's probably my best secondary pitch, and curveball's really coming along for me. 12-6 break. Like to get ahead of hitters, not afraid to go inside. And then I'll just put him away with that off-speed stuff.
Randall Delgado puts Eovaldi away. One out in the third. There's the big moment. Ray Montgomery, director of scouting for the Diamondbacks, getting you. That Sedona red looks good, doesn't it?
It looks real good on him, no doubt about it.
Now, what I found interesting too, Braden, a two-time Mountain West Pitcher of the Year, but when you went to Nevada, you were actually a shortstop?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. I came in, they wanted me to be a two-way guy, and ended up needing me to fill a role at shortstop, so I just did the best I could.
How do you swing it?
I swung it pretty good. I think I was 350 in conference. You
nice.
know, 8 or 9 doubles, home run, triple. You know.
Well, maybe we can pull a LaRussa, bat him 8, 7, something like that.
Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Here's Juan Pierre. Pierre grounded out his first time up.
Playing at the University of Nevada, Reno, I know you're aware that the AAA affiliate for the D-backs is there in Reno. Did you ever get a chance to go out and see the Aces play?
Oh, yeah, I've seen a few Aces games. Beautiful stadium up there, and you know, really close to the university, so I got a chance to go watch all the time.
Third hit for the Marlins tonight. Juan Pierre extends his hitting streak. That's now 14 straight games for Juan Pierre with a base hit.
All right, now the fun begins for Pierre. 18 stolen bases on the season. He has larceny in his heart. He wants to get to second base as quickly as possible.
Braden, the term scouts always use as a comp. Okay, this kid is this, that, the other thing. Give me a comp. What's a player that you're comparable to, do you think, that people could sort of get a visual picture in their heads?
You know, a lot of guys like to compare me to Kyle Zimmer from last year's draft. But, you know, I think I'm more of like a Justin Verlander type, attack the zone, and you know, obviously my stuff's probably not quite as
not
as
yet.
Good as his. Not yet.
You got time.
Oh yeah, no, I'll get there. But yeah, I compare myself kind of to him. You know, just the mentality of it and that part of it of the game. We're pretty similar.
Toronto at third. Willie Bloomquist, and they roll it. Nice work by Randall Delgado to get out of that mess. We'll be back with more with Braden Shipley when we come back. No score at Chase Field. Back with more coming up. year, a 2.77 ERA, 102 strikeouts, and the first-round pick by your Arizona Diamondbacks, the 15th overall. And Braden is here with us in the booth. He's all signed and sealed, officially now a Diamondback and ready to go to Hillsboro and begin his professional career. I kept reading, Braden, how scouts and people that watch the draft and write about such things were surprised that you dropped, was the word they used in the draft, because you were potentially a top 10 pick. What was that process like for you while you watched the draft?
You know, it was a little nerve-wracking, kind of sitting there with my family and you know, just seeing myself drop down the board. But you know, I was in contact with my agent and everything, and he was kind of, you know, walking me through the whole process, and you know, I was prepared for that to happen, because you know, drafts are crazy.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen. So I was prepared, and you know, I'm glad I got picked up by the D-backs.
Now, do you get the call before the pick is announced? How does all that work? What was the actual moment like for you?
Yeah, I got a call, you know, about 3 minutes before their pick, and was told, you know, they're going to take me, and it was just, you know, really exciting. So I kind of knew ahead of time, and I kind of need my brother and kind of gave him a little hint that I was getting picked up right here. So
so you're trying to play it cool, or
yeah.
Oh, good for you. All right.
Yeah, I was trying to, you know, still make it exciting for my family, even though I was ready to jump out of my seat.
Well, you grew up in Medford, Oregon, is that right?
Yeah.
How far is that from Hillsboro? You're going to have a lot of family and friends at games.
Oh
huh?
yeah, only 4.5 hours, so it's a quick trip up the freeway.
Very nice. Yeah, what was that like going to high school in Oregon? I imagine your high school season was probably a little shorter than we experience here in Arizona.
Yeah, definitely. We don't get the you know, all year round baseball that you guys get here, but no, we actually get some decent weather down where I live, you know, in Southern Oregon. It's not too bad.
Didi Gregorius flies out to Juan Pierre after the Pollock single to lead it off, and there's one away. So what do you think of this place? Pretty nice.
Oh, awesome stadium. Yeah, it's probably one of the best I've seen.
It's a hitter's ballpark, though. I'm told that all the time. Any concerns there?
No concerns. Just keep the ball down at the knees and mix your pitches. Should be fine. Corbin seemed to do pretty well last night.
Yeah. I understand you had a chance to talk to Miguel Montero a little bit before the ball game today, and your ears have stopped bleeding. So, what did you
get a word in?
Yeah, you know, yeah, I got a chance to talk with him. It was great. He had some good words for me, and I think the most memorable thing he told me was trust your catcher. He told me, he says, hey, you work with me. He's like, don't trust anybody else, just me and you.
Well, Miggy's no dummy. He wants to stay around the big leagues for a long time, and if he can grab young pitchers like you and you know, get them on his side, he might hang around a few extra years.
Oh, most definitely.
Diamondbacks with a runner in scoring position, 2 down. Top of the order up here is Gerardo Parra, struck out his first time. Brad, who was your team growing up, or your guy?
You know, I grew up a Cubs fan, which was
watching BB do the games.
Yeah, you know, it was a tough childhood for me. But
how did you pick up on that in Oregon?
I have some family from Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you know, ever since I was born, when I was a Cubs fan when I was in diapers. So,
well, you're not alone. A lot of people have suffered with the Cubs for a long time.
Yep, that's a tough organization to be a fan of, I tell you that.
Well, and obviously they've been around for a long time. They've had generations of Cub fans, you know, passing it on to their children and their children.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously that's what we'd like to get started here in Arizona. You know, we're seeing some signs of that already. And, you know, maybe by the time you get up here to the big leagues, we'll be going down that road.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see another World Series in the future for the D-backs.
Well, certainly stocked up on really quality young arms to get there, that's for sure.
Most definitely.
Nice block by Brantley.
Did you get a chance to talk to Charlie Nagy, the pitching coach?
Yeah, I talked with him, and got a chance to talk to Gibby a little bit, which he had some great words of advice for me. And
what did he tell you?
Well, the first thing he asked me was how I hold runners on. And And I told him, I said, I'm about a 1.2 to the plate. And he's like, oh, we'll work on it. And then we just talked about, the differences and workout programs and arm strengthening stuff. And, it was just nice to sit down or be able to talk with him and, hear what he had to say about the transition.
I would advise you to start practicing your throws over to first.
Yeah.
Gibby likes to do that once or twice.
I actually, I have a pretty quick pickoff move, and so hopefully he likes it and doesn't change it too much.
Parra, Diedrich makes sure that one doesn't get through with a nice stop. And that takes care of the Diamondbacks here in the third. So Braden Shipley, your Diamondbacks career is underway. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Best of luck.
Problem. Thanks for having me.
We'll see you back here soon.
All right. Sounds good.
Chase Field, the D-backs take on the Colorado Rockies at 6:40, and 15,000 fans are going to get the Stars and Stripes T-shirt courtesy of Ram Trucks. Then after the game, fans can relax inside air-conditioned Chase Field as we open the roof to a spectacular fireworks show presented by Gila River Casinos. Get tickets now, 602-462-4600, or log on to dbacks.com/tickets.
Cheers.
Oh, nice.
Nice view. So far, so good for Randall Delgado. Giancarlo Stanton leads off the Miami fourth, and that one is lifted high in the air, first base side, and out of play. Marlins open up the second with a pair of singles. They had first and second no outs. And Delgado got a strikeout, fly out and a ground ball to get out of that. Then after a Pierre single that extended his hit streak, Delgado a double play ball off the bat of Polanco to stay out of trouble. So Bob, whenever he has gotten in a little bit of a jam, he's come up with the right pitch.
Yeah, and that double play to Polanco to end that third inning was huge because this guy was lurking in the on deck circle, and you definitely don't want to face him with traffic on the bases.
Well, he struck Stanton out in their first encounter, got him looking, and now he's ahead 1-2 here.
That's a straight changeup. A lot of downward movement. Great arm speed for Delgado. Another one.
Got him again. 4 strikeouts for Randall Delgado, 2 of them against Giancarlo Stanton. Well, if he can spot that fastball and drop in that change, he's going to do well. One out in the fourth. Here's Loma. Logan Morrison singled his first time up. Willie Bloomquist can't quite get a glove on it, and Morrison's 2 for 2. Marlins with a 1-out base runner. That's their 4th hit tonight.
Now Morrison's first hit was a little broken, bad humpback liner to the left side of the infield that Didi couldn't make a play on. This ball was squared up. That ball got by Willie before he could even dive for it.
Lomo only 4 games, 13 at bats since coming to the end of a long recovery road following 2 surgeries on his right knee. He missed their first 61 games. So here's Marcell Ozuna. He singled his first time, hit the ball hard into left. Food's on the way. ABC Club upstairs at Chase Field. Great view. They bring all the snacks right to you. 2-0. What do we order here? Fries. That's always good.
You can have the green stuff. I'll take the fries.
Thanks. I get the rabbit food. 2-0 to Marcell Ozuna. On the ground to third. Paul, nice backhand stop. They get the force on Morrison, but they can't turn to. Ozuna with good speed beats it up the line, and a collision at second between Morrison and Willie Bloomquist. That was a nice pick by Prado at third.
Boy, it really was an off-balance throw. Just kind of hopped onto his right foot, got the ball to Willie in good shape, but as you mentioned, Ozuna runs really well out of that right-handed batter's box and beats it out for a fielder's choice.
And Lomo's a big dude coming at you full speed, so that couldn't have been any fun for Willie over there. Derek Dietrich, the second baseman, struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Lifted in the air to the gap in right center. And it off the base of the wall. Ozuna will come in and score. Dietrich heads for third. Here's the throw. And he's in there. RBI triple for Derek Dietrich, his second triple this year. The Marlins take a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's an unfortunate break for the Diamondbacks. It looked like that ball was going to bounce up and over the fence out there in right center field, but it appeared to hit right at the bottom of the yellow padding on top of the fence as it tried to bounce out of here. Came back onto the field of play, and Dietrich was off to the races. Yeah, if that ball bounces out into the pool area, Ozuna has to stop at third base, but because it stayed on the field of play, he just kept on motoring.
Danny Echeverria, the shortstop. Dietrich 90 feet away.
Yeah, watch this ball hit up underneath that yellow padding and drop straight back down to the warning track.
It just kind of deadened it in there, didn't it? Not much of a carom. Had to go get it. That gave Ozuna plenty of time to come in and score. That is the 5th hit for the Marlins. They lead it 1-0. They've out-hit the Diamondbacks 5-1. Imagine if Prado doesn't make that play at third on the backhander to get the force on Lomo at second. It's a much bigger inning against Delgado. That's a fair ball. It's by Goldschmidt. Dietrich comes in to score. Echeverria stops at first. RBI single. He's back in time. It's 2-0 Miami.
Just kind of sticks his bat out to protect the plate on a borderline pitch away. Keeps it fair down that first baseline just past the diving Paul Goldschmidt. This is where Gerardo Parra tries to bait guys into going for second. Echeverria wasn't buying it that time.
That wasn't a bad pitch, Bob. It didn't appear by Randall Delgado either. Just went down there and got it. Rob Bradley grounded out his first time up 0 for 1. Marlins won last night with only 3 hits. They've already got 6 here. Breaking ball 0-1. He's got Rob Bradley talking to himself. At AAA Reno this season, Randall Delgado made 13 starts, went 2-5 with an ERA just under 6. Now the PCL and especially the Reno ballpark skew the pitching numbers anyway. But the control, at least the numbers might give you pause. 35 walks in 64 innings. Bob, that doesn't appear to be a problem for him tonight.
His command has been pretty good up to this point. Left a few fastballs up over the heart of the plate. That changeup has been really good for him. That's his go-to pitch. Most guys, it's the fastball. When they have to throw a strike and they have to locate it, they go to the fastball. That's the pitch they have the most confidence in. But Delgado appears to have just as much confidence in that straight changeup. And against an aggressive swinging team like the Marlins, that should be a real good pitch for him tonight.
Hard into right. Echeverria will stop at second. Bradley's aboard. Throw from Parra kicks off the glove of Didi. Delgado's there backing up. Now 7 hits for Miami. And 4 in this inning. Here's the pitcher, Nate Eovaldi, struck out looking his first time. Delgado started against these Marlins at Miami last year when he was with the Braves and did very well. That was June 6th. Pitched 6 1/3 of 2-hit ball at Marlins Park, at a walk and 7 strikeouts. Got the win. In fact, in 2 years with Atlanta, Delgado has made 3 starts against these guys and pitched well. 2-0, an ERA of 1.10. But he's given up 4 hits in this inning, including an RBI triple. Echeverria at second, Brantley at first. And Eovaldi trying to stay alive. Randall Delgado, 6'3", 200, 23 years old, from Panama. Signed by the Braves in 2006 and picked up by the Diamondbacks in the Martin Prado deal. Montero holds on, and there's the strikeout, the 5th for Randall Delgado. But the Marlins get 4 hits and 2 runs in the inning. Bottom 4 on the way. Diamondbacks down 2-zip.
Game, players meeting, and we talked like we ran out of the darts, and I went to get them last night, so we got a lot of darts. So we're gonna keep doing that from now on. We're shy now, but we got a meeting last night after the game, players meeting, and we talked like we ran out of the darts, and I went to get them last night, so we got a lot of darts. So we're gonna keep doing that from now on.
And that is our Geico quote of the game from Martin Prado. I asked him, the blow dart has to make a return soon. Obviously, guys, the offense sluggish of late. Last night, Kirk Gibson disappointed with the 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. He said, it's not who we are.
Well, I certainly hope not, Jody. You got to get this offense going, Bob. Things have been slumbering a bit. Some guys like Didi and Prado are scuffling somewhat.
Well, and they know it. I mean, ball players are aware that over the course of a long season, you're going to go through stretches of the season where you don't hit particularly well. Wow, that takes an effort right there. Nice going.
Looks like something you see at the Rose Bowl or
yeah.
something. His face is a little askew. I think we got some pieces out of order there, but we get the point. Nice job, D-backs Nation. That looks good.
Yeah, getting back to that point about the players struggling offensively, and I think sometimes fans get a little upset. Sometimes we as broadcasters get a little upset because the players don't look like they're as concerned as we are. I guarantee you they're concerned. They work hard every day to try to improve, try to get better. All-star, goalie all-star, absolutely.
The groundswell continues.
And really, players wringing their hands and hanging their head in the dugout and moping around. That's not going to do any good. That's not going to help you snap out of a slump. You just keep grinding and understand the nature of the game is the cycles are going to work their way back around, and you are going to be hot.
Willie Bloomquist lifts it to right field. Giancarlo Stanton is there. One down in the fourth against Nate Eovaldi, who so far has given up only one hit. And here he comes, Bob.
As long as the effort's there, as long as the preparation is there, you can't really control results. We hear Goldie talk about it all the time. He's just more concerned with his approach. And once you put that ball in play, you can't control where it goes. You can't control the defenders making plays out there behind Eovaldi. Just do everything you can to get the barrel on that ball and hit it hard somewhere. After that, it's out of your hands.
And Goldie will tell you that. He's been scuffling too, and we've talked about that. Mostly the onus is, or the reason I should say, is on the opposition, the way they pitched him, and we've detailed that over the course of the broadcast. And now it's, as you said, it's up to him to make the adjustment. And the book, whatever it is working. Last 14 games, Paul hitting .193, and as a result, in part, the Diamondbacks are 5-9 in those games. 2-1.
And ideally, your team is balanced such that if Goldie happens to go into a slump for a couple of weeks, Miguel Montero picks it up, Cody Ross picks it up, Jason Kubel picks it up, and then when those guys cool off a little bit, Goldie will be hot again. Maybe it'll be A.J. Pollock, Gerardo Parra, Willie Bloomquist. You just hope that you can ham and egg it because everybody's going to slump. Everybody's going to get hot at some point.
And they're also treading water, missing some very important at bats like Eric Chavez, like Aaron Hill, and on and on. That's all contributing to what is now a 4-game skid.
And on those rare occasions when you get everybody clicking at the same time, that's when baseball becomes extremely fun.
And you'd rather have that in August and September than right now. If you're going to have a dry spell, if you want to call it that, you can handle it right now. Three and two. Right in the press box. Center field, Marcell Ozuna drifting over toward the gap and right. 2 away. Eovaldi is still giving up only one hit. That was an A.J. Pollock single to lead off the third.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
I think the Goldie foul ball has a DOA to computer. Someone's laptop.
Well, one thing we know about foul balls into the press box is they rarely get caught.
Somebody's got a reboot in there. Is that the mark it made?
There's a
Jim is covering it up.
There's a hole in the wall there.
Jim is, he's like, there's nothing to see here. And might need a new computer there. Two and 0 to Miguel Montero. Miggy struck out to open the second. And now Mike McClinsky going to take his sweet time.
I think Rob Brantley has some issues with his catcher's mitt back there. Catching those 98-mile-an-hour fastballs, maybe popped one of the laces on the webbing of that catcher's mitt.
Miggy 2 for 4 last night, 0 for 1 so far tonight. In fact, he's got 9 hits in his last 5 games. Just talking about the cycles guys go through and the ebbs and flows. 99 on the fastball. Breaking stuff gets as low as 76. There's a strike, 3-1.
Yeah, that was the one curveball that Evaldi's tried to throw in this game. That was the one at 76 miles per hour. Fastballs have all been mid to upper 90s. That hard slider in the mid to upper 80s.
High above Chase, so some Cold Stone. That's a good call right now. Keep cool inside Chase Field. Some snacks. Watch the Diamondbacks. Nate Eovaldi made 12 starts with Miami after the trade from the Dodgers last season. As you can see, 32 times he's been north of 95. He arrived in Miami as a 22-year-old last year, went 3-7. Boy, he's just put some good swings on some balls lately.
He's got his hands a little more involved with this swing now, more so than in using his legs and really trying to lift the ball to right field. Speed those hands up, gets the bat through the hitting zone a lot quicker.
Ball 4. 2-out walk for Miguel Montero. First walk issued by Nate Eovaldi, and here comes Martin Prado. Right, Bob, for a guy that throws this hard, consistently high 90s, he is not necessarily a strikeout pitcher, Nate Eovaldi, at least in terms of the numbers. He's only got, I say only, he struck out 2 tonight. Delgado with that change that drops off the table has 5 strikeouts. 0-1. Martin Prado hitting 173 over his last 14 games. And he was 1 for 4 in last night's series opener, a pair of strikeouts. Seven hits for Miami, still only 1 for Arizona. Diamondbacks last night against 5 Marlins pitchers totaled 7 hits. Montero at first after a 2-out walk. Marlins lead at 2-0. Derek Dietrich RBI triple, and Danny Echeverria RBI single.
A lot of tailing action up and in on that fastball. Briefly gets away from Brantley, but Miguel Montero knows his limitations as a runner down there at first base. The ball's got to get a little further away than that for Miggy to advance.
Yeah, like Mesa.
Evaldi's on the borderline of balking out there. He's getting some complaints from the Diamondbacks bullpen on a couple of his deliveries here to Martin Prado. He has barely come to a stop at the bottom of his delivery there before winding up and firing home.
Prado lifts it in the air to left. Juan Pierre will watch it go. Martin Prado, his first home run since April 29th. His 5th of the year, and the Diamondbacks have tied it at 2. That's a Fulton home run. Another $150 goes to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue. 44 games since Martin Prado last homer. That's his 5th of the year.
A nice quick swing by Martin. I talked about it with Miggy. Just get the hands through the hitting zone quickly against a hard thrower. You don't have to muscle the ball out of the ballpark. He's going to supply all the energy. You just need to get the barrel of the bat on the ball.
On the ground to first, off the bat of Jason Kubel. Logan Morrison bobbles it. Evaldi is there to cover, and that's the inning. But the Diamondbacks are right back in it. They've only had 2 hits. They do it the Giancarlo Stanton way. You don't need a lot of hits when one of them is like that. It's 2-2 at Chase.
CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Jack in the Box. Now's your chance to go big at Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Big Stack Burger. 2 jumbo beef patties stacked with onion rings, cheese, and pickles.
6 of the 9 runs in this series scored via the home run, and now the Diamondbacks have gotten in on the act with Martin Prado's 5th of the year, a 2-run shot. So a 2-out walk to Montero and a 2-run home run by Prado have drawn the Diamondbacks even with the Marlins as we open the 5th. Juan Pierre, Placido Polanco, Giancarlo Stanton against Randall Delgado. Pierre 1 for 2. He singled his last time up, extending his hit streak now to 14 games. He's got 22 hits over the 14-game streak. At the age of 35, he'll turn 36 in August.
Wow.
that's a catcher. Take a look.
Hey, Mike Machlinsky behind home plate has not given any low strikes tonight. Anything down there around the knees has been called a ball for both teams. That doesn't make it right.
Nice reaction by Delgado there, and he gets the out. And Bob, I would imagine that makes it especially tough on a guy like Delgado, who relies on that changeup to drop down there and occasionally either get a guy to chase or get the called strike.
Yeah, I mean, Delgado will get his share of strikeouts, but he's more of a ground ball type of guy. He has some tailing, sinking action on his fastball when he keeps it down there around the knees. You hate to penalize a guy for hitting his spots, and he's hit Miggy's glove several times tonight right down there at the kneecaps and has not gotten the calls.
Placido Polanco 0 for 2. He's been very measured. I like the body language. He looks in control. He looks in the moment. He looks fine, quite comfortable. It's not like he hasn't started a major league game before, but he's trying to establish himself as a Diamondback and fit into the long-term plan. And this is his first start in Sedona Red. I think he's looked pretty good.
And he's had a little bit of time to think about this, too, as opposed to his relief appearance earlier this season where the phone rings in the bullpen. Get up, get loose, get in there.
Didi Gregorius, 2 up, 2 down in the 5th. Let's do our AT&T Twitter poll question tonight. A little bit behind with this. We've had a busy night, a lot going on here. Who are you looking forward to getting back off the DL among those guys who have already played this year? Just put hashtag FSAZ in front of either Hill, Putz, Chavez, or McCarthy, and tweet your vote to @FoxSportsAZ.
Is there one for all of the above? And the sooner the better. Speaking of Aaron Hill, 1 for 1 tonight playing for the Reno Aces. Drew a walk, scored a run. He's 4 for 10. He scored 3 runs in his rehab assignment with the Reno Aces.
Bob, this is a big at bat for me right here. You've just got back in the game. It's 2-2. He's got 2 quick outs. Don't make a mistake to this guy right now. Get out of this inning right here. Stanton is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Didi Gregorius coming in. Didi makes a nice play. A good inning there for Randall Delgado. He gets the top of the order in order. Bottom 5 on the way. It's a good one to chase 2-2. Chase Field. Hey fans, a reminder, play Kachinko by signing up at one of 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field. You can do that during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game, and you can win valuable and exciting prizes, get yourself a signed game piece. It's a good deal. A.J. Pollock, Didi Gregorius, and the pitcher spot against Nate Eovaldi. 2-2 in the 5th. Marlins took a 2-0 lead in the 4th. Derek Dietrich had an RBI triple, and Danny Echeverria drove him in with a single. Diamondbacks got their 2 runs in the home half of the 4th on Martin Prado's 5th home run this year. A.J. Pollock singled his first time up, 1 for 1. Echeverria at shortstop, and he is something down there. One away. Didi Gregorius. Sign up for the kids club at the kids section in Chase Field. A lot going on. It's all interactive there, Bob. Slide in your game card, get it scanned, join the D-backs Kids Club.
Take your ticket, your game ticket. Do you have your game ticket? No, do you have your game ticket?
Didi flying out his first time up, 0 for 1. It's another one in the air to left field. Juan Pierre has plenty of room. 2 down. If you're someone you know would love to be calling the game between the ages of 10 through 14, then come out Sunday to Chase Field, Fox Sports Arizona, and Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions. They're going to be held this Sunday. It's a Kidcaster Sunday, 11:30 to 1:30 at the Sandlot. You can do that before the Diamondbacks and Reds game, and if you're chosen, you'll be up here with Bob Brenly and myself calling some Diamondbacks baseball. 96 from Eovaldi. Randall Delgado showed good bunting for him his first time up. All right, a little too much sugar tonight. Delgado and Reno this year didn't hit a lot, but 4 for 12. And looked good bunting his first time up to move a runner along. Short hop, he's got it. 6-pitch inning for Nate Eovaldi. We're through 5. It's 2-2. Prize or the Fry's Marketplace in South Rita, and you can enter to win 2 seats on the Fox Sports Arizona Fan Express, brought to you by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores. You get round-trip transportation to the D-backs game July 14th or the 28th, and for more information visit foxsportsarizona.com and get on the bus, Gus, and come join us at Chase Field with all your Diamondbacks friends. We're the Sedona Red. Get on the Big Red Bus. Welcome back to Chase Field. D-backs tied up with the Marlins right now, 2-2, set for the 6th inning. Fun times out there. The Ram Trucks pool. Just put your feet in there, Bob. Take your shoes off, relax, set a spell. Great place to watch a game.
Absolutely. Great view out there. We broadcast a game from out there earlier this year, and it's a different perspective. I liked it. You know, normally we sit here behind home plate or somewhere close to this area to watch the ball game, but gives you a real good look at what the outfielders go through, the kind of jumps they get on balls, the throws that they make back to the infield. It's a completely different perspective.
Yeah, we were out there against the Pirates, and we got a chance to watch Andrew McCutchen play center field, and you feel like you're standing next to him out there because you're so low to the ground. That's what I like about that area. Logan Morrison leads off the 6th. This is the different perspective from inside the slide.
Something for everybody here at Chase Field.
Lomo 2 for 2, pair singles so far. Mentioned that Morrison has essentially missed an entire year of baseball after 2 surgeries on that right knee. Tried to come back last year after the first surgery, discovered it needed to be fixed again. Drives that one to center. A.J. Pollock, plenty of room in front of the 407 mark. And they finally retire Morrison, 1 out in the 6th. Take a look. It's like Battery Park.
Look out below!
You don't even have to put a quarter in. They work.
Those binoculars are about as good as mine, though. That doesn't really get you up close and personal the way you need to be.
Those are more like the kind you see on McHale's Navy or something. Tim Conway looking through them the wrong way. Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna has singled, reached, and scored on a fielder's choice. Hitting 150 over his previous 9 games. The bat has slowed after a tremendous start to his rookie season at age 22. He was hitting .330 at the end of May, at .291 beginning tonight's game. Prado at third. Plenty of time. Sets himself, and the throw pulls Goldie off the bag, but he gets the foot down, says Marty Foster.
Three pitches, 3 swings that at bat for Ozuna. Yeah, Paul has to stretch into foul territory that time. That's one thing that good first basemen do. They're so adept around that bag. They know where the runner is. They know where they can go to avoid the runner and still make the play on an errant throw.
Derek Dietrich looks at a pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Dietrich has struck out, and he's got an RBI triple and scored a run his last time up. Derek Dietrich just recently called up to the big leagues, made his major league debut May 8th at San Diego, went 1 for 3. In his next game at Dodger Stadium, he hit his first big league home run. He's homered 6 times this year. This is a guy with backward platoon splits. He's a left-hand hitter who actually hits 48 points higher against left-hand pitchers than he does versus righties. He's ahead 3-1. Another case, Bob, of Delgado getting 2 quick outs. Try and get out of here. He had a 1-2-3 inning back in the 5th. There's the strike. It's full 3-2. 80 pitches now for Randall Delgado, 58 for strikes. Miguel Montero holds on. That's 6 strikeouts for Randall Delgado, and he's thrown 6 innings of 2-run balls. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Gerardo Parra, a 6-game home hitting streak on the line. It's 2-2. And in participating Pepsi 12 packs, the winner will receive a special Dodge Ram Pool Suite experience. Purchase your Pepsi 12 packs for a chance to win outside section 104. It's the Pepsi Grab and Go section. You grab and you go. Find all your favorite Pepsi products and you don't miss a pitch. Pretty good deal. 2-2 as we start the home half of the sixth. Nate Eovaldi back out there for Miami. Gerardo Parra, Willie Bloomquist, and Paul Goldschmidt in the Arizona sixth. So far, Parra 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. Gerardo Parra, base hit. He's now hit safely in 20 of his last 23 games. And he's on base again, this time to lead off the sixth. Just the third hit tonight for the Diamondbacks against Nate Eovaldi.
Good start. Rarely does a leadoff hitter get to lead off more than once in a ball game, and that's to start the game, because depending on how the lineup rolls around, you may find yourself hitting fourth in an inning or second or eighth. But getting the lead off here again in the sixth inning, Gerardo Parra sets the table for the guys in the middle.
Willie Bloomquist 0 for 2. '96. Willie 0 for 5 last night. He's already got 6 multi-hit games this year. Parra's 6 stolen bases. He's been caught 8 times. All you can eat section. Bring your napkins. So far, Nate Eovaldi has given up only 3 hits, one of them a 2-run home run by Martin Prado, his 5th of the year. Eovaldi got pretty quick feet out there.
Got quick feet, and he throws 98 to home plate and 98 to first base.
We just need him to throw a slider over there or something. What do you think of the giant M on that hat? That's always bugged me. The M, the logo on the cap, is like twice the size of any other cap logo in baseball. It seems somewhat oversized.
You're right. I never really noticed that before.
Like it's not M, it's M.
It's a piece of art.
It always is. So's the thing in left center, right? Got the Sedona Red snake hat on, the D-back shirt. Checking the texts and the tweets and the whole thing. Keeping a close eye on Gerardo Parra at first. Derek Dietrich, the second baseman, shading toward the bag. And if Willie Bob is trying to go the other way and hit it to right field, there's lots of room over there.
His first 2 swings, it looks like he was trying to pull a fastball. He guessed right. He got a good pitch to hit. He just swung right through it the first 2 strikes.
Missed off speed. It's 2-2. Third time's the charm sometimes. Eovaldi's been very efficient. 74 pitches, 51 for strikes. Parra holds. Bloomquist checks. It's full 3-2. That's a good at bat by Willie. He looked a little overmatched the first 2 swings. There goes Gerardo Parra. Bloomquist swings and drives it to right field. Stanton is there, lots of room. Parra back to the bag, one down. Here's Goldie. Paul Goldschmidt 0 for 2. He has flied out to right and flied out to center. It is 16th home run. Last night extended his National League RBI lead to 61.
He's back.
Hey,
that's the guy that caught the home run ball last night.
Same seat. He does not appear to be positioned correctly, though. That was a big part of his game plan last night.
He gets a good jump on the ball, though.
Eovaldi seems to be mixing it up, Bob, going through the order the third time. A lot more early. It was all fastballs, 98 all the time. Now a lot more off-speed stuff, breaking stuff.
Big first pitch curveball that time to Paul Goldschmidt. Could possibly be another one on the way here. Hang it. And instead he bounces it in the dirt.
Paul Goldschmidt says majority of times when he doesn't have an at-bat that he's happy with, it's because he's too amped up. Oftentimes he's up there trying to calm himself down, slow the whole process down. Says when he's going too fast up there, he doesn't pick the ball up out of the pitcher's hand very well. Starts pulling off the ball. And oftentimes he'll be in the box and tell himself, calm down, go more slowly through the at-bat.
You hear players talk about that all the time, slowing the game down. Not always an easy thing to do, but the best ones seem to be able to slow it down to a crawl.
Parra on first with one out. Down and away again. And he drives it the other way, but out of play. He's got to be used to seeing that by now. Here it is again, Bob. Down and away. Same old story lately. Oh, that one got up a bit.
Up a little bit that time. Mid-thighs, outer part of the plate.
That looked like the pitch. Same location that he hit out last night. Parra holds it first. Goldschmidt swings and misses.
Diamondbacks are saying that pitch hit the ground.
A lot of guys yelling from that Arizona dugout. Mike McClinsky, the home plate umpire. Let's see.
Yeah, that ball clearly short hopped into the mitt. If Goldie didn't hit it, it doesn't really make any difference. If he got a piece of it and fouled it off and the ball hits in the dirt, then he should still be at the plate.
It goes down as Eovaldi's third strikeout. 2 outs. Parra still on first. Here's Miguel Montero. Walked and scored his first time, or his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Scored on the Martin Prado home run that tied it at 2. Miguel Montero hit 198 in May. In 14 games in June so far, he's really hit well. 315. He's got 5 multi-hit games this month.
Yeah, a lot more breaking pitches this inning from Eovaldi. Not only that hard slider that we've seen from the very beginning of the ball game, but also that big overhand curveball. This is the slider. Looks like a strike on that inside part of the plate. Just dive bombs underneath the bat of Miguel Montero for a swinging strike.
There is some activity in the Miami bullpen. Guys getting a little loose out there. But the pitch count not a big deal for Eovaldi yet. Keep in mind this is his first start of the season.
He had shoulder inflammation coming out of spring training, had to be shut down. He has made a series of rehab starts in the minors, but this is his first start in the big leagues this year. Parra bluffs at first. Montero swings through it. It's 1-2. Miggy 9 hits in his last 5 games.
Elevated fastball this time. Eovaldi not losing much off that heater. He's not as consistently at 98, 99, but he's still in the mid 90s pretty consistently. 94, 95.
Looks fast enough from up here. Miggy lifts it to right. Stanton started back, now comes in. Giancarlo has it. Diamondbacks get a leadoff single, but they strand the runner. We're through 6. It's 2-2. After the game Friday, you can enjoy the fireworks courtesy of Gila River Casino. Saturday, first 20,000 fans get an MLB Network drawstring bag. That's on the game Saturday. And then Sunday, it's a biggie, June 23rd, Star Wars Day. You can enjoy costume characters around the ballpark, get a Star Wars themed game, commemorative t-shirt with your ticket online at dbacks.com/Star Wars. So we hope to see you out here at Chase Field this weekend against the Reds. Get your tickets now. You can call 602-462-4600. Or you can get them online. Log on to dbacks.com/tickets. Good pitching matchup so far. They are our APS Energy All-Stars. Nate Eovaldi for the Marlins and Randall Delgado, who is going into the 7th inning here, Bob, for the Diamondbacks.
Delgado's given up more hits in the ball game. Got that big double play in the 3rd to escape some trouble. The consecutive hits in that 4th inning, however. A triple by Dietrich, a single by Echeverria, and then a single by Brantley. Really the only damage the Marlins have done against him. He's done a nice job of pitching out of trouble.
And here are some of those guys you just mentioned. Echeverria, Brantley in the pitcher spot in the Miami 7th. The Danny Echeverria RBI single his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Mentioned the Diamondbacks holding a narrow lead atop the NL West at the start of play today. They led the Rockies by a half game. A 1-game lead over the Padres. Game and a half over the Giants. Well, so far so good in terms of the division competition. And that's a fair ball right up the left field line. Echeverria with good speed will head for second. Jason Kubel pulls it off the bullpen wall. Echeverria heads for third. And they got him. Danny Echeverria, he's got 5 triples this year, and it'll stay that way. Fry up some fish at third.
You love the hustle, but misguided in this case. That high bouncer gets over the head of Martin Prado down at third base. Jason Kubel plays it cautiously. That ball can do some funny things down there in that corner, so he made sure that he was in a good position to play the carom. A strong throw to Prado. boneheaded base running right there.
A little too aggressive, Danny Echeverria. And let's watch Jason Kubel play the ball off that bullpen wall. What a throw.
Oh,
perfect.
Right on the money on a hop.
Rob Brantley, the catcher. It's not a really super strong arm from Jason. It's just really accurate.
Very accurate. He gets rid of the ball quickly, gets it in the air. That'll freeze runners on the bases a lot of times, just seeing the ball in the air.
No rest for the weary. 2 down. Mention the division race. Toronto's Esmil Rogers, 5 1/3 of no-hit ball against Colorado. Blue Jays beat the Rockies 8-3 at the Rogers Center. Padres at San Francisco tonight. Andrew Kashner versus Matt Cain. Giants lead that one. It's 1-0 in the 4th. Pitcher spot due up, and we'll have a pinch hitter here. Jordan Brown, Arizona Wildcat.
Saw Brown pinch hit in the ball game in the 8th inning last night. Grounded out to first base. No damage done.
Brown 2 for 7 with a double and 3 RBIs as a pinch hitter this year. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. The University of Arizona, 4th round pick by the Indians in the 05 draft. Played with Cleveland, Milwaukee, Houston, and now Miami. Called up for his first big league action with the Marlins back on May 21st. Hasn't had a ton of playing time, 11 at bats in 10 games. One and 2. Fire up the Z-Cam. Went down and got it, but it goes right to Gerardo Parra. Randall Delgado had retired 7 in a row before the Echeverria double, and he gets through 7, giving up only 2 runs. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Martin Prano, he homered his last time up. He'll lead off the Arizona 7. Baseball, you got to watch that dugout hop. Sometimes it catches you a little quick. But the beauty of this is watch, she gets back to the seats, and Dad has the whole thing on the camera phone. Got the whole thing there. 2-2 games. We get set for the home half of the 7th inning. Marlins and Diamondbacks. Joe Borowski in the booth with us now. Joe, I thought Randall Delgado looked really good tonight.
really good.
Yeah.
And the one inning where he did give up those 2 runs, he made some pretty good pitches. Just unfortunate luck for him, but outstanding job. And he did what's been the bane for him for many of his starts is he threw strikes. He worked ahead in the count, and he got the Marlin hitters to swing at his pitches that were out of the zone. And you do that by working strike one a lot.
Here is the rookie right-hander, A.J. Ramos, after the Marlins hit for Nate Eovaldi in that last inning. He'll face Martin Prado. Prado homered his 5th of the year his last time up. Ramos has never faced Arizona. Among rookie relievers, he ranks tied for 3rd in innings pitched, tied for 5th in appearances, and 6th in strikeouts. I'll tell you what, Joe, Nate Eovaldi can bring it.
Wow, Kenny, he has some very good stuff, and the reason he got burned in that one inning was he fell behind both hitters that he faced. He walked Montero, wasn't even close with his pitches, and then 3-1. I know as a hitter, you throw that fastball that comes back over the inner half of the plate, and it's not coming back. And Prado just got his hands through the zone quick and just met it out in front of the plate and deposited it.
Yeah, 98-mile-an-hour fastball when you're behind in the count 1-2 is a lot different than when you're ahead in the count 2-0 or 3-1. Hitters can anticipate that fastball, get the bat started a little bit sooner, and if you leave it up over the plate, it's going to get hit hard.
But all in all, I thought both pitchers threw extremely well tonight. I thought they had good command of their pitches.
There's
you see right,
and he knew it too. You saw
that's a hitter's dream right there.
Making some bats. You never know. 2-2 to Prado.
And Ramos has come in here and hasn't demonstrated any ability to throw anything other than a fastball for a strike. Breaking balls bouncing in the dirt all over the place.
This is a rookie. It's a guy they like a lot and have used a lot. He is tied for 8th most innings pitched among National League relievers. 3-2 to Martin Prado. Lifts it in the air to right. Giancarlo Stanton drifting toward the pole, and he has it. 1 out to lead off the 7th. Let's update the AT&T Twitter poll question now with Joe with us in the booth. Who are you looking forward to getting back off the DL among those Diamondbacks who have played a game this year? And
I'm going with the fans.
Yeah.
I want to see Aaron Hill back out there. I think what he brings to the offense, they're sorely missing right now. And you'd love to see that pop coming out of second base.
I think it's remarkable that they've maintained, they got in first place and maintained their position atop the division for 2 months or longer without Aaron Hill.
Well, that just shows you the depth that this team has, where somebody can go down for an extended period of time, but you have able bodies that you can replace them with. Not super long term, but enough to keep you still in position to be sitting atop of the NL West.
Yeah, well, that's the goal, isn't it? When you lose a key guy like that, or more, as the Diamondbacks have with so many guys here, the goal is just tread water and just don't make it an emergency situation, and just maintain that pace of play until you get those guys back.
And that's what you're looking for. You're filling in with guys who aren't necessarily used to playing every day, but as long as they're not asked to do it for an extended period of time, you're talking 3-4 months, and then you're still able to stay within striking distance. And the Diamondbacks, you got to give them credit. They've done a great job of keeping pace with the NL West, and they find themselves on top. And it's almost like you're making a trade when you get these guys back, because you haven't seen it for a while. So it just might be that jolt that they need to maybe go on that 6, 7, 8 game winning streak.
It's funny because it's almost hard to imagine what it'd be like to have Adam Eaton out there.
They still haven't had their full lineup that they envisioned coming out of spring training yet.
It is remarkable. 2-2 now. Kubel lifts it high in the air, third base side, Juan Pierre, and fouled by 2 down.
Talking about Aaron Hill, the first of his 2 cycles last year was 1 year ago today.
Burning that snake into the bat. So here's A.J. Pollock with 2 outs. A.J. singled in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2.
Aiden Gregory's going to be happy tonight.
pretty good deal. You can get the logo on there, name, the date.
That is cool.
Joe, I thought especially key tonight for Delgado, and considering the contact to damage ratio we saw last night from Giancarlo Stanton, Delgado got him 3 times, 2 by strikeout.
And I'll tell you what made Delgado so effective tonight, that changeup was absolutely ridiculous. It was falling off the table, and it gave the illusion of a strike, but by the time it got to the plate, it was falling in just behind the plate. And when you work ahead, you get hitters to chase those pitches because they're not sitting back waiting for a fastball out and over the plate. When you're working ahead, you could throw any pitch at any time in that spot, and he worked it so that he was ahead of Stanton every time he faced him.
And as Bob pointed out, he's doing that with an umpire that's not giving you anything.
Yeah.
No low strikes at all. 3-0 to A.J. Pollock. There's a strike, 3-1. What's coming up on the postgame show?
Well, we're going to break down Delgado's outing because I thought there was a lot of key instances during that game which allowed him to get into the 7th inning and pitch well enough to give the Diamondbacks a chance to win this game.
A.J. Pollock races it down the left field line. It clanks off the bullpen fence, and A.J. Pollock will stop at second base. He's 2 for 3. That's his 19th double this year, and the Diamondbacks have a 2-out base runner. Well hit down the line.
AJ making a statement to get some more playing time here. His starts have been curtailed somewhat recently, but 2 knocks in a ball game tonight, including this double down into the left field corner where he's in scoring position for Didi. And it looks like Eric Kinski has moved out into the on-deck circle for the pitcher spot should we get that far.
Only the second runner in scoring position tonight for the Diamondbacks. Didi Gregorius 0 for 2. He's flied out twice. On the ground to second. Derek Dietrich's there. And Ramos strands the runner. Joe, thanks very much. We'll see you in the postgame show.
Looking forward to it, guys.
Diamondbacks need to get their bats going. Still 2-2. You can read all about it at FoxSportsArizona.com. Jack McGruder will have his post-game analysis for you. There's Jack working on the story right now. You'll read online after the game. There's also lots of good injury news for once for the Diamondbacks. J.J. Putt's progressing toward a rehab assignment. He's been throwing some bullpens. He's looked good. And the Coyotes working on a new contract for Dave Tippett. This was J.J. Putz in the bullpen yesterday, Bob.
Yeah, looks throwing free and easy down there. Obviously has a few more steps to go before we'll see him back out on a game mound, but that's a wonderful sight right there.
And it was remarkable. When he walked off the mound at Dodger Stadium, you just thought, that looks bad.
Yeah.
That looks really bad. You thought the worst. And he was out there with bullpen catcher Mark Reed and Kirk Gibson checking things out. Brad Ziegler will start the 8th for the Diamondbacks. Here's Juan Pierre. Pierre 1 for 3, singled in the 3rd to extend his hit streak.
Somewhat of a rare experience for Brad Ziegler coming into a ball game without 2 runners on base.
Paul Goldschmidt and Martin Prado in on the grass at first and third respectively. Brad Ziegler's last appearance Sunday at Petco Park, and as Bob mentioned, he came into the game with 2 on and nobody out, and came in, put out the fire, quickly got 3 outs including a strikeout, and he has been outstanding lately. He's allowed a run in just 2 of his last 20 appearances. He has a 1.08 ERA over that span. Willie Bloomquist at second, and they retire Pierre to open the 8th. 1 down. He's 1 for 4. Over his last 16 2/3 innings, Brad Ziegler has given up only 9 hits and struck out 11. And with that added changeup frequency, he's become, not going to call him a strikeout pitcher yet by any stretch, but it's a little more bigger part of the arsenal, I think, for him.
And there will be times in a game and certain hitters at the plate, runners on base, where you need a strikeout. Most of the time he comes in, throws that sinker, gets a ground ball, the team turns a double play behind him, and he's right back in the dugout. But there will be situations where he needs a swing and a miss. And when you can show a hitter a pitch that he hasn't seen very often, you might be able to get that swing and a miss on the straight changeup.
Willie Bloomquist having a busy afternoon. 2 down. There's your standard Brad Ziegler routine ground ball, ho hum, 2 outs. It's funny because he's come in here and gotten 2 quick ground ball outs to second base, and Brad Ziegler now this season with those 2 grounders, 73 ground outs, 9 flyouts. Giancarlo Stanton, and you would prefer if this guy kept it on the ground, as it went in. When it gets up in the air, it tends to go far. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th. They'll have the pitcher's spot, then Parra and Bloomquist, 9, 1 and 2. 8 hits for the Marlins, 4 for the Diamondbacks.
Stan, a very quiet hitter in that right-handed batter's box. Just a very slight toe tap with the left foot. Otherwise, he just stands statue still in that batter's box.
And then it's just that quick bat, right?
Yep.
Didi Gregorius smothers that at shortstop. Didi! Brad Ziegler, 3 ground ball outs and a 1-2-3-8. Home half of the 8th on the way in a 2-2 game at Chase Field. Didi Gregorius. Leading off the Diamondback 8.
A.J. Ramos back out there for Miami. Diamondbacks with only 4 hits. One of them, a 2-run home run by Martin Prado, his 5th of the year. That tied it at 2. There's a strike, 0-1. As a pinch hitter this season, Eric Hinsky, he's 184 on the year overall, but as a pinch hitter, he's hitting 243. Quickly behind, 0-2. Eric in this role this season has done a superb job. 9 for 37. 3 doubles, a home run, 5 RBIs. Marlins took a 1-0 lead in the 4th on a Derek Dietrich RBI triple. Free Hinsky movement continues. Rob Brantley, or Danny Echeverria, pardon me, followed up with an RBI single. That made it 2-0. Then Prado tied it in the 4th with his 5th of the year. No 5 for fighting. That's a hockey thing. Trying to get that suspension reduced. The hashtag Free Hinsky movement marches on. It's a groundswell. Heath Bell and David Hernandez. Been a rough time lately for both those guys. They're up and throwing in the Arizona bullpen. Right back on the horse. And Bob, we've seen Gibby do that all year long. Guy has a rough outing. Oftentimes he's out there the next day. Hinsky strikes out, 1 down. Didi Gregorius ended the last inning fielding this ground ball off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton at 108 miles an hour below. You want to play shortstop? Go ahead. Good luck with that. It ain't easy.
Wow, for those of you who are good at math, I do not include myself in those numbers, but yeah, you could crunch some numbers there, figure out how far defenders are standing from where that ball is struck. Leaves the bat at 108 miles per hour. I mean, Martin Prado at third base was probably the closest other than the pitcher. You don't have a lot of time to react.
Gerardo Parra 1 for 3, singled his last time up. That's how they play Parra.
A little bit of a mini shift with Echeverria cheating up the middle a little bit, but Polanco drawn in at third base just in case Parra decides to bunt for a base hit.
2-0. Parra at 313. That number ties him for 10th in the National League. Tied with Yadier Molina for the league lead, 23 doubles. Diamondbacks offensive drought continues. Over the last 4 games, they've scored only 8 runs as a team, averaging 188. Tonight, just 4 hits and only 2 men in scoring position. Martin Prado has taken care of all the offense. A 2-run home run in the 4th, his 5th of the season. 2-1 to Gerardo Parra. 2-2.
That pitch has not been a strike all night long.
Same 2 teams back with you tomorrow. No TV on that game. Matinee game at Chase Field. So come on out to the ballpark. Spend your Wednesday afternoon with the Diamondbacks and watch the Marlins' sensational young starter Jose Fernandez. 2-2 to Gerardo Parra. It's full 3-2. Willie Bloomquist on deck.
Now, Ramos still hasn't shown any consistent ability to throw any of his breaking pitches for strikes. He's thrown a couple of good straight changeups, but the slider and the curveball have just not been there for him. When you get a pitcher out there on the mound that can't throw a breaking ball for a strike, you just forget about it.
Sit fastball.
Sit fastball.
See what he does here on 3-2. Arn drives it to center. Marcell Ozuna. Really like him defensively. Chaz Roberts air conditioning, cool play of the game. Speaking of defense, Jason Kubel in left for the Diamondbacks throws out to Danny Echeverria, trying to stretch a double into a triple.
That was leading off the inning as well. Bad base running mistake that time by Echeverria. Perfect throw by Jason Kubel. Good quick tag by Martin Prado. Thanks for stopping by.
And that's a big play in a 2-2 game. Now, Marlins in a 2-2 game, 7th inning, would have had the leadoff man on third and no outs. Willie Bloomquist, that's out of play, 0-1. Rockies have lost in Toronto. Giants and Padres playing in San Francisco right now. Giants lead San Diego 2-1 in the 6th inning. Hundley is homered for the Padres, his 5th of the year.
Once again, another breaking ball, that time way over in the left-handed batter's box. Willie had to check his swing that time, but he's consistently missing the zone with his breaking pitches. Parra got himself in a good fastball count that last at bat and drove the ball hard to left center, but Ozuna made a nice running catch out there.
Ozuna one more time. Diamondbacks go quietly in a 1-2-3-8. We're ahead to the 9th inning of a 2-2 game at Chase Field.
Inconsistent throughout the season, even when I was going well. It's just I haven't really felt confident in it, and I need to get back to that. And it's just it's frustrating. You go 9-10 appearances in a row and you do fine, and then you give up that 3-run homer, and it's like, well, now I'm back to square one.
My conversation earlier today with David Hernandez, talking about what's been frustrating for him, the slider, and making that a more consistent pitch, having confidence in it. But guys, basically, he just said, I have to make quality pitches late in games. He knows that of late the bullpen has been struggling in these type of situations.
It sure has, Jody. And the ERA for David is up over 4 now. He'll open the 9th inning in a 2-2 game. Heart of the order up: Logan Morrison, Marcell Ozuna, and Derek Dietrich, 4, 5, and 6 in the Miami 9th. Lomo having a good night so far, 2 for 3 with a pair of singles.
We showed you the numbers for the bullpen in the month of June at the top of the show, and really it's a little deceiving. I mean, the bullpen ERA, 3rd best in the National League in the month of June. Their whip, walks, and hits per innings pitched 1.18, third best in the National League. Unfortunately, the home run ball is hurt. 8 home runs at the most hurtful times in a game. Yeah,
David, 2 rough outings sandwiched around a very good outing actually in his last 3 appearances. 1-1 to Logan Morrison. Last Tuesday at Dodger Stadium, he walked 3 in an inning before giving up that 3-run double in what turned out to be a 5-3 loss. David bounced back nicely the next day, looked very good, 2 scoreless innings in LA. But Sunday in San Diego just hung that slider to Kyle Blanks, and it turned a 1-1 game into a 4-1 Padres win. And Kyle Blanks hit it well up into the Western Metal Supply Company down the left field line.
And thinking back to that Dodger game when he walked 3 and then gave up the bases loaded double, that was after the warnings had been issued, the benches had cleared, and it looked like David was really afraid to just let the ball go. He was trying to guide everything to the outer part of the plate, and just didn't have any command that night.
It's funny that he mentions the slider, Bob, and a pitch that he called inconsistent. I thought you and I have both commented that when he had that run and looked really good after his initial trouble this year, we both thought the slider was what was working for him. Kind of gave him a different look. It wasn't all just hard stuff all the time. It seemed to be very effective. This is there, 3-2. Mike McClinsky's not been calling the low strike all night, at least most of the time anyway. They try to ring up Morrison low and away.
Just a little bit of tailing action took that ball off of the outside corner. Good location that time, however.
3-2 to Lomo. Montero, did he hang on? Nope. And Morrison's still alive. These are the June bullpen numbers for the Diamondbacks. And the big one's at the bottom, Bob. You're right. 8 home runs. That'll skew the pitching stats for sure.
No doubt about it.
Morrison strikes out. Good start for David Hernandez. 1 down in the 9th.
That's something he wasn't able to do in that outing against the Dodgers when he walked all those guys. Throw good fastball strikes on the inside part of the plate. Really just tried to guide everything away from the Dodger hitters after the warnings had been issued.
Marcell Ozuna. He has singled and scored a run, 1 for 3. Marlins hitting coach Tino Martinez calls Marcell Ozuna a natural hitter. Big, strong kid with power. And last night we saw him in between Stanton and Morrison. Mike Redmond has mixed that up a bit tonight. And he's got Derek Dietrich, the second baseman, hitting behind him in the 6th spot. 1-1. Ozuna was hitting .330 at the end of May, but .214 through his first 13 games in June. Bob, have you found that if a pitcher, whether it's a starter or reliever, gets in a big spot like David was in San Diego Sunday in a 1-1 game late and gives up the big home run, do they tend to get gun shy at all? Fisted into center field. A.J. Pollock tracks it down, 2 outs.
I think it depends on the amount of experience a guy has at the major league level. How many games has he pitched in the minor leagues where similar things have happened? I mean, if you're a late inning relief pitcher, you're going to get beaten once in a while. The other team sometimes is going to get the best of you. You may make a mistake, or you may make a good pitch and get beat. But I think guys like David Hernandez and Heath Bell and other late inning relievers in Major League Baseball have been there, done that, and they understand that some days you get the bear and some days the bear gets you.
Derek Dietrich Dietrich is 1 for 3. The one was a biggie back in the 4th inning, an RBI triple. He also scored a run. Hernandez behind again, 2-0. To this point, he's thrown more balls than strikes. Hey fans, MLB.TV celebrates 11 years with new low prices. You can watch every out-of-market game live on over 350 supported mobile devices or in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. It's baseball everywhere. I have that service. I use it every day. It's tremendous. Right field, Gerardo Parra. And a 1-2-3 ninth for David Hernandez. Nice bounce back outing for David. Paul Goldschmidt leads off the bottom of the 9th when we come back. Prado's 5th home run of the year, a 2-run shot in the 4th, the only Diamondback offense tonight. And now it's a 2-2 game as we open the home half of the 9th with a familiar face on the mound for the Marlins. This is the veteran Chad Qualls. 20 of his 26 appearances this year have been scoreless.
Got something in common with Diamondbacks #1 pick Braden Shipley, other than the fact they're both right-handed pitchers. Chad Qualls also went to the University of Nevada, Reno.
And he's turned out to be a very effective major league relief pitcher. He's made at least 50 appearances in 8 straight seasons, and they would like Paul Goldschmidt to hit it right there and send everybody home. Goldschmidt, Montero, Prado, 3, 4, and 5 in the Arizona 9th. Goldie so far 0 for 3. He struck out his last time up. He's ready, in position. Bob, once again, that left center field gap is there for Goldie if he wants it.
Well, the idea is defensively, your pitcher's going to work a hitter away, forcing him to hit the ball into the teeth of the defense. And we've talked about it all night. Pitchers make mistakes. If he hangs one up on the inside part.
Goldie drives it to center field. That's a home run. Paul Goldschmidt has done it again. And the Diamondbacks have their 5th walk-off win of the year. Everybody go home. Paul Goldschmidt is walking off his 17th home run and his 2nd walk-off home run this year. The Diamondbacks beat the Marlins That's a Fulton home run. Another $150 goes to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue. The Diamondbacks' first walk-off win since Cliff Pennington won the second game of that doubleheader against the Rangers back on May 27th. And that was crushed to dead center.
I was right in the midst of saying that pitchers make mistakes over the middle of the plate. You just have to be ready to jump on them, and boy, was he ready. That ball was absolutely crushed to straightaway center.
Jody Jackson is ready with Paul Goldschmidt. Let's go downstairs. We are Goldie gone, Jody.
All right, Paul Goldschmidt, I have to tell you that Bob Bradley was in the midst of talking about the type of pitch that you might see there. If you saw you could do with it, what did you see right there after the bubblegum hat?
Just this fastball. He's got a good fastball, and I was able to get something out of him on the plate.
2 home runs in 2 nights for you. I know that's got to feel good. Been a little bit of a struggle lately.
Yeah, I mean, obviously tonight getting the win was big, and last night getting a couple hits. So, guys did great. Delgado did a great job coming up, and hopefully we'll keep it going.
And then, you look at this situation, a walk-off here with the way that the offense in general has been struggling. I gave it away, didn't I?
Yeah, you got to protect yourself.
I saw it coming. But this is, again, like I mentioned, second walk-off for you this year, and just how good does that feel to be able to lift this team at a time when you've lost 4 in a row?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you walk off, it's fun. Great crowd tonight. It's nice to have their support. Pitching did great, give us a chance to win, and good job all around.
Word on Randall Delgado, what he was able to give you guys tonight. 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs.
Yeah, unbelievable. Gets called up. He went right at guys. Maybe one mistake on that double. A lot of good pitches, and it's good to see out of him, and hopefully he keeps going.
All right, Goldie, go clean up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Paul Goldschmidt, guys, we'll send it back up to you.
Our Ram Trucks tools of the trade. Paul Goldschmidt, his 17th home run, his 62nd RBI to lead the National League. And Bob, that one sent everybody home.
Playing handball with that batter's eye out there in center field. Qualls through that backup sinker that stayed right in the middle of the plate. As I said, Goldie knows that he's going to be pitched away, but he's quick enough that when that ball does come over the middle part of the plate, he's ready to do some damage.
And the Diamondbacks fry up some fish. Paul Goldschmidt, number 16 last night, number 17 tonight. His 62nd RBI to lead the National League. And the Diamondbacks, here's the swing, get their 5th walk-off win this season. They beat the Marlins 3-2, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the series finale on a Wednesday matinee, Todd, at Chase Field. Should be fun.
All right, thank you very much, Steve, and Bob will check.